musician Mark Haze is joining me in studio. He's going to be playing this weekend at the Cape Town Folk and Acoustic Festival. Wow, that's a mouthful, Mark.
Say that 3 times fast, right?
Cape Town Folk and Acoustic Festival. Okay. Now, you're actually, the theme is collaboration.
That's right,
at the festival. Who are you collaborating with?
I'm lucky enough to be collaborating with a good friend of mine, Jesse Jordan. We've known each other for so long, and we keep talking about doing gigs together. We keep talking about working together, and it never comes to the fold. And the organisers of the event didn't know that, and somehow the stars align, and here we are working together in the show. Yeah,
that's awesome. So what can we expect from your collaborations set?
I think both of us have songs that people will remember from the amount of radio play that we have. So we thought we'd please the crowd and do 2 tracks that people will remember. But the cool thing about it is we both have very different voices to one another. Mm-hmm. But what's cool is that when we put those 2 voices together, the harmony really works very nicely. And I'm not going to give too much away, but we decided to go as simple as possible, because that's what folk music is about. The necessity of having one instrument and the ability to only use that instrument. So we play drums on our guitars as well. Wow. And we have a little bit of a rhythm thing going, and we even get the crowd involved to a degree. So it's going to be good fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So people are standing there thinking, well, where's the band? We need a band to move. That's not true. You're going to move when you hear us sing. Now,
on the topic of folk music, do you have a favorite folk artist?
I do not. I think I like a lot of older music. I like to go back to the roots of things. So for me, when it comes to the beginnings of blues, I tend to fall in line with stuff like Muddy Waters and Otis Redding. And as we head more into like the California scene, like Simon and Garfunkel are cool. And I know Mumford & Sons really admire Simon and Garfunkel. So I mean, I could talk forever on the different influences that spun off my rock and roll / acoustic career, but I wouldn't want to bore you.
Well, I know you can play like several hundred different instruments.
Yeah.
Maybe
several, not several hundred. But,
but so many: harmonica, guitar, drums, trumpet.
Yeah, not well. I mean, harmonica and trumpet are like, I've dabbled in them, and I can kind of do them. I mean, I can hold down a rhythm, melody, that sort of thing, or a harmony, excuse me. But when it comes to guitar, I'm a semi-professional at it,
pro,
so to speak, yeah, and a bit of piano playing. I'm not the greatest pianist, but again, like no one else in the band plays piano, so I kind of just do it.
Yeah.
And my brother and I can play drums. We actually have a little duo thing that we do every now and then. We'll switch. Either I'll play the percussion section and he'll play the main drums, or we'll switch it over and then he'll do a percussion solo while I hold the rhythm on the drum set. So we're a very musical family.
Now, what was the first instrument you learned how to play?
The very first instrument was the piano.
Okay.
Yeah, my grandmother was a good pianist, and she had a piano. And when my grandparents moved in with us, I took a liking to it. Plus, I sang a lot when I was a kid. So, from about 4 years old, I was, doing that sort of thing. So my grandmother noted it right away, and my grandfather saw it and had a chat with my parents and said, like, let's get him some lessons. Let's see if we can move him in the right direction. And that was my classical training. And in the same year that I started playing piano, a couple of months after that, I went to watch my uncle play in his rock band. And I heard the guitar, and I turned around, my poor parents, who had just went through all this trouble of getting me piano lessons. I turned to them and I was like, I have to have a guitar. That is the thing. Piano sucks. Piano's for girls. I don't want a piano. And they were very cool about it. They made me work for it, as parents do. And I mean, they made me carry on with my piano lessons as well, which I'm very thankful for, because of my classical background. I'm able to work in so many different scenes now, and I don't just sing rock and roll. I help out with different groups. I session for a lot of people as well. So it's I'm very lucky for when I look back at what's happened.
Now, what was the first guitar you ever got?
Wow, it was called Max Tone. And just by the name, you know how cheap it is.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say
I know exactly what my parents were thinking when they got it as well. They got it because it was the cheapest thing they could find. And you know how it is, like being a parent, I know, like a kid will always like run to the next fad. So they probably figured, like, we'll get him a really nonsense guitar and see what he does with it. And if he does a good job, then we'll bump it up. And I kept that guitar and I practiced on that guitar, and that guitar is still around. My parents keep it as like a trophy. It's scratched to hell. Yeah, it looks terrible, but it did the job. It got it right. And I got an electric guitar like many years later, about 10 years later. I got an electric guitar. Yeah.
I decided I wanted to play bass guitar when I was younger. My parents found out about me in Ibanez, and then I quit. So they probably
time to put that online. Yeah. Firewood.